On this hot summer's day, we decided to do a day sail up to Thomas Point Lighthouse. But one of the first things I noticed was that my Raymarine wind speed indicator was not working, even though it was blowing pretty well. Not a problem though. I learned to sail without all those fancy instruments.
Okay, ready about? Tom's lead.
Beverly and I are sort of like a well-oiled team when it comes to tacking Vesper.
Off.
With a little more practice, maybe we'll be ready for the next Summer Olympics. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm wearing a head cam. It's actually a GoPro that goes on a special strap that goes over my head. You'll see it later on in the video. Unfortunately, I had it set for normal view. It really should have been on wide angle, so you could have gotten a better look at what I was doing.
That looks better. Where's Thomas Point? Iced tea. Oh, almost dropped it. Oh. Nothing like iced tea on a summer's day. I think I ought to turn before you bring anything up. Is everything out? It's because we're going to heel. Okay? Alright, here I go. Tom's lead. Crank it in. All right. Tidy up the lazy. Always take the slack out of it to prevent fallops. There we go. And my reward is a bowl full of cottage cheese and tomatoes from my first mate. How about that? Well, today was a day sail, and on day sails I really like to try and practice sailing against the wind. And our goal was the famous Thomas Point Lighthouse. Here comes a crab pot right by us. Just saw that. Now, let's take it out auto helm and see if we come around the other side, make sure nobody's there. Got about 13 feet of water here. We want to be careful because it's on our lee. Don't want to blow into it. There's a black thing in the water, if you can see it. It's actually an icebreaker. So any ice that used to come down from the north used to get broken up before it crashed into the lighthouse. Believe it or not, not too long ago, somebody actually came out here and vandalized the place. But they fixed it up. I don't think they caught anybody. But there it is. This is about as close as I want to get on a sailboat to Thomas Point. There's another example of this lighthouse at Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum, which one is on one of my previous videos. Where you can actually, that one is on land, you can actually go and see it. And they actually have an active weather station. I get my wind readings on the bay from here. You can see the mast up on the very top there. So now we're going to turn around and head back to Annapolis.
The boat you see off our port side there is one of the Naval Academy's yard patrol boats. They use it to teach the cadets the art of handling a boat under power. But here we are sailing along on a beam reach, which means the wind is coming across the side of the boat. It's probably the best point of sail, and the seas are relatively flat. It doesn't get much better than this. And since it was a weekday and not too many boats were around, we decided to do our old sail into Back Creek trick again. Something I like to do to practice it just in case the motor gives out for some reason. But little did we know that chaos lurked around the corner, literally. And it just started when we tried to pull the jib in. After I let the jib sheet off on the starboard side, Beverly started to try and pull in the head sail by way of the furling line. She was obviously having a little trouble. So, maybe this needed a big, strong sailor man, and I decided to let her take the wheel while I gave it a shot. What I soon discovered was that it was something more than not just having enough upper body strength. No matter how hard I pulled, I just couldn't get the jib to roll in. So it was time to go forward and take a look at the furler. I kind of knew what was wrong. It was an overwrap, which means the line that goes into the furler becomes tangled in a way. There was nothing left to do but to bring the head sail down. But we were in Back Creek, and although we were under control, there wasn't much room to maneuver. Beverly had the motor running, and she was doing a pretty good job of staying away from the other anchored boats. To make it easier to get the Genoa down, I first pulled on the windward sheet, pulling it up close to the mast so I can grab it. This then allowed me a bit more control as I pulled the sail down onto the foredeck. At this point I should mention that leaving the sail up would make it nearly impossible and dangerous to dock the boat. All that was left was to bring the mainsail down, which is pretty easy with our jack lines and sail bag. Then I lined the boat up so we could back down the fairway as we normally do. One more challenge of the day was to clear a powerboat that was docked on the inside of the fairway. Probably not a great idea, made it a little tight to get in, but we managed it. After we docked, I had to detach the head sail from the furler and then rewind the furling line onto the drum. It was a process that took me maybe about 20 minutes to do. This sort of overwrap has only happened to me twice. It's not a big deal, but it's a pain. But in the end, we had a great day of sailing. And as you know, if you own a boat, the unexpected things usually do happen. Thanks for watching, and come again.